So when you think about love, you think tender, soft, sweet, caressing, concern, genuine consideration for somebody else, and specifically emotional consideration for somebody else. And then we think about losing a game, it's like, bruh, how we strategize, we practice, how do we still end up losing? If you lose, it means you ain't up to snuff. You ain't the best and the brightest. You still gotta go to the practice field. You still gotta take a couple free throws in the gym. You ain't ready yet if you still losing. So when you put both of those together, love is a losing game. Put love and losing in the same sentence. It got me thinking, hold up. First and foremost, losing in romantic relationships is one, inevitable, two, I argue, necessary, three, it's not inherently bad. When I think about me getting into a relationship with somebody else, romantic relationship specifically, there's gonna be dimensions of me that I'm gonna bring into the relationship. But if I'm gonna be in a relationship with somebody else and my identity and their identity, they have to merge. Like the way we see the world, everything that I do influences how they see the world and everything that they do. Anything that they do or say influences me in some form or fashion because we're connected by choice. So what happens when there are elements of me that are trash? What happens when there are elements of me that are underdeveloped? There are dimensions of me that just shouldn't be, dimensions of me that don't help the relationship or make the other person uncomfortable, that makes them feel any type of negative way. In that regard, if I actually care about this other individual, then I need to make sure that I do what I can to pull my weight in the relationship, to be authentic in who I am in a relationship, but also make sure that anything that does make them uncomfortable and I can actually fix it, then it's worth my time and effort for the sake of the relationship to work well, for me to address it. If that means me losing elements of me or dimensions of my identity that I thought were integral to who I was, but in reality, it's like, no, it's just a habit. It's just a trait that you thought was innate to who you are as a person. It ain't that deep, bro. It's just a tendency, it's just a habit. It's something that you learn from somebody else and you just kept doing it, but nobody ever pointed it out to you as detrimental or harmful or cumbersome or just unnecessary. So when my partner points that out, that's up to me to make the decision to say, okay, is this really something that is gonna make or break who I am as a person and who I want to be and who I see myself as and how I want other people to see me? Or is it just like, bruh, just, you can change, you can grow, you can mature, you can let that dimension go, you can lose it, it's cool, let it go. It's inevitable that I'm gonna lose dimensions of me throughout the duration of a long-term relationship. Just think about it, even separate from my partner. If I'm aging, I'm growing, I'm maturing, certain things, certain priorities that I held when I was 15, by the time I hit age 30, I'm gonna be thinking about things differently. I will have had other experiences that just lead to me losing different dimensions of my identity, different dimensions of how I see the world, different dimensions of my perspective on life. Some of that stuff is just gonna fall off anyway. So losing is inevitable in a relationship. Losing is inevitable because both people, or look, if polyamorous relationship, everybody involved, they're gonna grow and change within the relationship as individuals. So losing is inevitable. Losing is also necessary. When you consider the game of a relationship, it's necessary for me to shift, for me to mature, for me to grow, if it means benefiting my partner and it means benefiting the relationship overall. Because my partner says they don't like something about me, and it's something that's like a quirk or something that I can change, something that I can help, then it may be worth considering, maybe worth addressing. That don't mean that every time Jojo say, I don't like this about you, you need to change it right now, we're gonna break up. Nah, see, them ultimatums, those may cause more harm than good. So when I consider losing as a necessary element of having a fruitful relationship, I think it's necessary because there's gonna be a give and take. There's gonna be things that my partner likes about me, but then there's also gonna be things that they don't like. And vice versa, there's gonna be things that I don't like about my partner. And it's up to me to speak on it if it's really becoming an issue. Because another thing that you don't want to happen, another thing that I don't want to happen, is that something that started off as a yellow flag, you know, it was kind of minor, it was small, it didn't really have too many repercussions or nothing like that. But then 3 years later, that thing that's been festering all this time, always been in the back of my mind, and then it becomes not only a problem, but it births resentment from me to my partner, where it's like I resent them because of X, Y, and Z that they did 3 years ago, but I didn't realize that it stuck with me and it actually had more of an impact on how I view them than I initially gave it credit for. So I think it's very necessary to lose in relationships. Love is a losing game. You got losing that is inevitable within relationships. You got losing is actually necessary for growth and maturity for the individual within the relationship and for the collective. And then I see losing as my third point, like it's not inherently bad. And unfortunately, when you think about losing, it's because you're unprepared, you're not skilled enough, you just aren't good enough, you ain't ready yet, I lost because I made a mistake. It's like, nah, G, don't pigeonhole the concept of losing, because that also pigeonholes our perspective on life and how we see just the world, where it's like it's all or nothing, a zero-sum game. Either I win or I lose. And if I lose, it means that I am inadequate, I am not enough, I'm insufficiently prepared for whatever life throws at me. No, if anything, losing is an opportunity for growth. It's like a notification, like, whoa, I still have some growing to do. Whoa, I still have some things to practice. Whoa, I still have some things that I don't know how to do, but I can still learn. So losing is more so an opportunity to learn. Because if you're always thinking, oh, I'm always losing because X, Y, and Z, then it's like, bro, you can fix X, Y, and Z sometimes. Sometimes losing is actually better for the learning process than just getting win after win after win, success after success. Sometimes losing is actually necessary for growth, because when you lose, I imagine it does something psychologically where it's like, this is actually psychological and physiological, where it's just like losing is linked to the same types of reactions as like physical pain. You can look this up, Google Scholar, it's always there. And I know people have done studies on this. But when you think about losing, it's like, I hate losing. I don't wanna do the thing if I know I'm gonna lose, and then I don't wanna lose because it does not feel good. It's not linked to a dopamine rush. It's not linked to good feelings. It's like, yes, we did it, y'all. We lost. Get the champagne bottles. Do the thing. Cause we lost. Ain't nobody doing that. It's because we're wired to think only winners are the best. Only winners are the ones that deserve the attention, that deserve the accolades, that deserve all good things in life. And the losers in life, it's like, man, y'all should have just did better for real. Cause you know, if you was just better at life, you wouldn't be losing. But it's like, nah, G, there's so many other factors that go into winning versus losing, but that's for another video. But the key point of losing not being inherently bad within relationships, when you consider losing an argument between you and your partner, losing that argument doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong or your perspective is invalid or anything that you say from now on is just discredited and you don't know what you're talking about. Rather, losing in an argument, I know personal experience, it has pushed me to take a step back and think, wait, why did I react to the thing that led to the argument in that way? Or wait, why did I think that this was okay previous to the argument? Because the argument is just like another notification. It's like, whoa, something about the way I was approaching a situation rubbed my partner the wrong way. So it's not so much that, man, it ain't that deep. Why are you making this a big deal? Like, why do you feel this way? But in reality, it should be a matter of me looking in the mirror and say, wait, why did I respond this way? Or why did I have these feelings going into that situation? Or why did I do what I did that triggered a reaction? So, key points. Love is a losing game. Losing is inevitable, necessary, and it's not inherently bad in relationships. So, I'll leave you with this. When you learn how to lose, life will look differently. And ideally, it'll look differently for the better. And it'll have positive ripple effects in all of your relationships. Romantic, platonic, familial, professional, what have you.